Guys, we're live. I think Billy
Oh
Goat
my
Catfish
God.
is happy now.
Wow.
We're live.
Nice.
It's better than the alternative.
How's it 6 p.m. already? How does that work?
I don't know.
You know, Brian, you're such a
like-
good friend. You know that because you had the thumbnail up, and I was like, you know what would make me so happy? And I was like, can you just plop an Astrobot on there? Because we might have something to talk about regarding Astrobot today.
I'm not a good friend. I'm not a good friend. I just succumb to peer
You're a
pressure
great
way
friend.
too easily. This has sort of been like the cliff notes of my entire life, to be honest. So, yeah, Johnny Nopok is asking, AJ, why the fuck did you make Brian put Astrobot in the title? So I guess we will have to get to that. But
but I appreciate it. But just a note for next time. Maybe make him a little bit bigger. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh my God, you can suck it. Can
Maybe
we start?
when we have a big story about Astrobot.
That's what I'm
guys,
saying
real quick.
here.
Guys, get in the chat, grab your keys. It looks like First Contact is back, throwing keys out
Oh
again.
my God.
It's hilarious. Oh my God, I thought they were just going to come show up that one time and never show up again, but they're back. They've got more
Checks
keys.
in the mail. First contact.
A lesson to all: you should be here live, because
Yep.
that's where you get the treats. Who likes treats?
Hey, Brian.
What?
How about let's start the show?
Dude, I wanted to start the show. Okay, let's start.
Oops.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and or possibly all-inclusively Friday. And here with me, my name's Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, are the guys to my right who will tell you which one of those 3 days it is. I bet it's hump day. Dave from Dave Station, VR.
Do my hump day. My hump day dance. Do the hump day hump. The hump day hump. Right.
Can I see the dance? Yeah, is that...
No, I'm not going to stand up and do it.
I want like a full screen Dave doing the
I was
hunting
wearing
dance.
pants. If I was wearing pants, man.
And that guy on the right hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR, Underground, Underpants.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Game Cats? Happy second day of June, first GamesCast of June,
Pay your
and happy Hump Day, happy Pride Month, and also I know what everybody's thinking. You're thinking, hey, what is that in the background? That is the newest edition, and that is my pixel ripped 1989 physical edition. Let's go.
It's a little bit cut off.
that.
Yeah, nobody
I didn't even notice that. I always put new shit in my background and expect people to notice, and nobody ever does. Like, I got this cool
I know.
Battle Royale poster up here now. Nobody sees or does.
Maybe you should read the comments, Dave, because somebody did actually say,
Nice.
maybe you just missed it.
And no one's ever commented on this pinball table I've just had sitting up against my bookshelf for the entire time we've been doing this show forever. And just never hung it up on the wall.
When AJ said, I know what everybody's thinking, I was like, really? Let's put this to the test. What's Imzadi thinking?
Yeah.
What's Geisen thinking? What's Johnny Rypop thinking? I'm so curious. Do you know what Chairface
how I
is
did that,
thinking?
Dave?
I think we all know what Chairface
is
is
Chair-
thinking.
What is Chairface thinking?
It's not
on me.
It's not good. It's not good.
He's thinking, sit on me.
Right. Chairface and I come from the same school of don't read our minds or we're in big trouble. Thought. All right, you guys, we have so much stuff to talk about today, so we should probably get the ball rolling ASAP. And of course, we always get the ball rolling with a little bit of housekeeping. You should know that you should join our Discord. That link is in the description below. That's where we hang out and have this conversation 24/7. So if you miss it now, well, we'll probably have it again later. Also, make sure that you get in there because this upcoming Sunday, is our multiplayer GameCat Meetup, and we're going to be playing some Squadrons. It's going to be really exciting, and if you haven't picked up Squadrons, get it now. It's free with PlayStation Plus. I know people are like, it's not free, you have to pay for PlayStation Plus. Get over it, you know what the fuck we're talking about. Semantics. And that's
let me say something about Squadrons too. You might want to get a little bit of practice in. Of course, you can just jump in and have fun.
Yeah.
But look, everybody. One thing, if there's one piece of advice I can give you about Star Wars Squadrons, is that everybody sucks when they start playing it. I was terrible.
Absolutely.
I could barely. I couldn't control the plane. I couldn't do anything. I was doing cartwheels all over the place and just floating out into space. Everybody sucks. So maybe get a little practice in before Sunday.
Definitely practice. Yeah.
Or just don't and come have fun.
If you've never played it too, like the campaign is like a tutorial, kind of a long tutorial, but you don't have to play the whole thing to get a feel for it, and it's kind of worth it. Like a fun little Star Wars-y first-person single-player kind of thing. Not bad.
Yeah, 100%. I think the campaign is really good for learning all like the extraneous ships. Like if you're going to do something other than like the TIE fighter, then probably play the campaign. But just jump in, use the TIE fighter, learn its mechanics and stuff. There's enough to learn right there. So I would say if you're getting it this week, focus on just one ship, learn the ins and outs, learn how to really maneuver that thing because it's not easy. And then maybe you can actually help out your team.
Fighter.
And what you want to do is you want to find somebody in our community who's already really goddamn good at it and get them to mentor you.
Go find Spliffy.
Spliffy, we got Elvert is really good. Danny Deadhack, Drew's friend, is really good. Drew himself is really good. I think Juice. I don't know. There's so many people who are really good at this game. They're out there waiting. I'm sure some of them will be part of this thing. So try and get on their team if you can.
They're out there.
They're out there.
I believe. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's enough messing around. What do you guys say? We get to the first
8 goddamn minutes.
Is it? Yeah, we're right on time. Perfect. AJ,
Right on time.
What's the first news story for today's GAMESCAST?
All right, man. We've got some awesome topics today, but of course, as always, we're going to start with anything PS5 related. And today, Herman Hulst did a Q&A with Sid Schumann, my man, doesn't know me, over at SIE Content Communications. And they did a little discussion, little Q&A, and talked about a couple topics that I thought it would be fun maybe for us to share our opinion on it, because some people are, I've seen some mixed reactions and stuff. I see the journalists already gearing up. But essentially one of the first things in the topic was that they talk about how, there's 100 million, 110 million PS4s out there that you don't just suddenly turn your back on them. And that's also a market for them to capitalize on. And so they announced that they kind of like, he very subtly made some announcements about like delaying God of War and stuff, it sounds like, which we kind of assumed. But Gran Turismo 7 was mentioned. And he mentioned that Gran Turismo 7, I think God of War as well, were going to be PS4 versions as well. And that is not something that I can say that I expected. But yeah, Gran Turismo 7 apparently is going to also have a PS4 version. And wanted to see your opinion on that. Do you think that's going to have any effect on it coming to PSVR 2? Because some people out there believe that this means, oh no, it's not happening on PSVR 2 anymore.
Wow, there's a long trail.
I didn't make that jump. Yeah, I didn't make that jump when I read
yes,
it. That's
believe
kind
it or not.
Kind of a stretch as far as I'm concerned. I don't know.
It's a
I don't
huge.
see anything that he said here that seems like it's going to be a negative. Everything he said in this interview seems like a net positive to me. I don't see where the skepticism is coming from, really.
Yeah, it's a huge stretch. But I will say, though, when they just showed off Horizon Forbidden West footage recently, and they were showing all the environments and then some of the gameplay, and it was just like out of control. Like it just looked so amazing. Like character animation was like through the roof, and just detail in the world. And that world, anytime you see something that's like super lush like that with all this foliage and cliffs and these huge enemies and everything, like all that stuff working together, I was just it blew me away. I was like, this is such an unbelievable, amazing looking PlayStation 5 game. And then I was watching GameScoop, and they were like, don't forget it's coming to PS4 as well. And I was like, what? Like what? Why? And part of me was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you have to pull everything back? But at the same time, Horizon is a beautiful game on PS4 as well. And so, like, to have a kind of graphically scaled back version, just because it's on PS4 Pro doesn't mean it's not going to look great. It's just going to look super extra great on PlayStation 5. And so,
yeah, and I think part of that is like, you want to sell copies of this game, right? But when it comes out, can they say for sure that people will be able to get PlayStation 5s in their hands? No, probably not. I mean, but like, I think we'll still have a shortage through the end of the year, probably. And so to expect people to, you say like, oh, I'll buy this PS5 exclusive. If they don't have the console, they're not going to buy it, obviously. So just getting those PS4 users who still haven't got the PS5 yet seems like a no-brainer. Like you kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
At this point, to sell copies. Like,
Yeah, I was wondering, has anybody played, because they did a last-second port of Resident Evil Village to PS4. Did anybody actually play that version? And were they, what was the difference? I want to know. I mean, was it just graphical changes and stuff. But I get some people's concerns because Sony did go out and say, SSD only, we're going to have games that only the PS5 is capable of having. They're going to be exclusives. And now they're kind of backtracking on that. And to me, that kind of shows the position that they're in, that they have to be, that, quite frankly, the availability of PS5s, trying to make the most profit off of these games and doing whatever they have to do that. It's purely a business decision. But I think there are some benefits and things as well. But I don't know. As far as like I would love to hear if somebody actually played on PS4. But I actually watched a little bit of Petrifying Pumpkin's video just to check it out. He's a big PlayStation guy through and through, so I was curious. And he had kind of some of the same thoughts that I had, which was, it's only a problem if it affects gameplay and game design. And he alluded to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, how that won't be possible on a PS4, and that's why it's an exclusive. That would be my concern, is if I'm not worried about graphics. You can just downscale graphics and stuff and whatever, and have the inferior version on the old PS4 hardware if it's a PS5 game that was stripped down. But gameplay would be my concern, having things in the design that are only capable on the PS5.
I mean, there's nothing that I saw in the original Horizon or that I saw in this gameplay reveal, which I admittedly didn't watch all of. I just skipped around a little bit. But they had that state of play recently where they showed off all the gameplay footage and stuff. I didn't see anything that looked like it was so crazy you couldn't pull it off on it. Yeah. I mean, it's not like she's teleporting into brand new environments every 2 seconds. Like in Ratchet and Clank, they showed off that mechanic of part of it is you jump through a rift and without a loading time, you're in an entirely different world and all the enemies are already spawned and everything's happening. Yeah. And to me, that is clearly designed to show off the PS5's power, right? Yeah. And a game like this, I don't think is really that sort of tech demo-y sort of thing. It's just another good open world game that conforms to basic gameplay standards. I don't think they're going to try anything crazy like that. So it should run fine on PS4 as far as I can tell.
Grizzly says the PS4 version is pretty good. Seymour Gamecat says OG PS4 here. I beat it yesterday. It was completely fine and everything. Also, Grizzle complimented my beard. Thank you.
I was like, you only read Grizzle's comment because he complimented your beard.
No, I was ready to do it. He just knew. But thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. No one's complimenting anything on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, that's fine.
AJ, you did say something about is this PlayStation backtracking a little bit on their original message? I don't think it is. I think it's more like this was always the plan. They want to obviously take advantage of. They've always supported their prior console for a couple of years after the new consoles come out. Maybe not with exclusives as much like this, but they've always been really good about it. So this is one of those things where I feel when Xbox shows something on their E3 stage that we all know is multi-platform. It's not like they say coming to PlayStation and Xbox. They just say coming to Xbox because that's the business model. That's hey, when you think of this game, think of Xbox, and they want you to think of PlayStation 5 when you think of the next Gran Turismo game, the next Horizon game, the next whatever, right? They want you to think of PlayStation 5, but they need to sell it to everyone else as well, not only to keep their customers happy, but also just because they need to fucking recoup some losses here. There's only so many millions of PlayStation 5s out there right now. It's why would you ignore the biggest audience you possibly have? So I am curious what that means about PlayStation VR 1, though, because right.
Well, I think we have our answer for PlayStation VR 1. We have a stellar bunch of games coming out and stuff, and the thing about PlayStation VR 2 though is I don't see this having any effect as long as there can be two different versions. As long as the PS5 version feels like a PS5 quality game, it should be fine. I was laughing at that too, Brian.
Everybody in the comments, I want to reach out and smack and then hug all of you.
But yeah, I would. To me, it's there can be two separate versions, and I know that's where things can sometimes. We've had some examples of that going bad. But these are first party titles. These are people that know how to use the hardware the best they possibly can. So, and I believe that as time goes on, we're going to see more and more PS5 only exclusives. But I think this is important for this transition to have kind of support for both of them. I think there's nothing super wrong with that. And if there's nothing that the games do that are like really unique to the PlayStation 5 hardware, then it's like, yeah, just they might not look as good and stuff, but they're still going to look good on a PS4. As for PSVR 2, I still believe 110% Gran Turismo 7 is going to be a PSVR 2 game, if not a launch game. And
But just to be clear, there's nothing in this interview about PSVR 2 except for another thing that we probably ought to get to here. Just keep it moving,
definitely.
Yeah. So at the very end of the interview, he asked them. They talk about some of their Japan influence and their relationship with Japan and making sure to keep that market strong and steady. Talks about it being in the DNA, and I could not agree more.
He also mentioned the Sobi team a couple times when they're talking about Sony studios that have a strong part of their roster in development, something like that.
Right. And then he basically says, and perhaps this is a redundant question, but it seems like maybe we haven't seen the last of Astrobot. And Herman Hulse replies, I hope not. I love that guy.
Yeah, I mean that's very much a wink, I think. We've talked about if people were winking at us before, but they're definitely making an Astrobot game in some fashion. Right. Hopefully it has VR support, obviously. I hope they don't make him the mascot in a way where it's like, oh, we're going to use him to show off controller stuff and flat screen stuff and whatever. Like, I hope he stays VR at some level. But yeah, I love Astrobot too. I'll play anything he's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Astrobot has kind of made a name for himself at this point for showing off new PlayStation tech, and there'd be nothing better than whether it be a full-fledged game or whether it just be kind of like a Astro's VR playroom sort of thing. It would be a perfect launch title, just to kind of get everyone acclimated to all the new features of PSVR 2.
I'm just trying to think about the possibilities for like game design. So with the DualShock controller, they use the touchpad in ways that other games hadn't before, and they use the motion tracking in ways that other games really hadn't.
And better than anyone else.
Yeah, really, really well. And so I wonder, like, when you have these two split orb controllers, what are the unique gameplay things that they can come up with that will show off those to their maximum potential? You know what I mean? Like, do those become two little Astro spaceships or something? And you got to,
There's so many different ways. There's so many different possibilities and combinations and different things you can do to make it work. And like listening to the notes of when they were designing the original Astrobot, they had way more ideas that even made it into the game. So I know that team is super talented, super capable. But yeah, at the very least, I'm like, how would you not get some kind of Astro bot-led tech demo thing for like similar to Astro's Playroom on PS5 at the very least. But me personally, I would love to see a full-fledged sequel. I think VR is what really put Astrobot on the map. I don't think anybody knew who Astrobot was until that. Maybe since the Astro's Playroom, which was a free title, that helped a little bit more people know. But I think it's going to be an important role for Astro to play. At the very least, being a tech demo for the next VR headset or something like that. Extended tech demo.
How many of these 25 games that Herman Hulse said were in development from PlayStation Studios? How many of these do you think are either VR or have VR support?
Well, let's see. I want to
like
say
2 or 3.
I think like it'll be an even split also between. He talked about new IPs and existing IPs. And they'd be crazy if they're not working on VR and brought an existing IP in. Obviously, like people are gonna want to see some big heavy hitter Sony thing like on the PSVR 2 lineup that they know and love. But then also like definitely they'll throw out a new IP. I think for sure we'll see a new Sony Studios IP that is VR mainly or VR only or something to kind of solidify that we can also make new properties in this space that people will want to come back to. Like they've already proven with Returnal that they can do that on PS5 because that's like a huge, big new IP. Like if they made a Returnal 2, people would buy that in a second. So like, yeah, they're doing pretty well over there.
Yeah, my bet would be
I think we got some tips actually to take care of here, don't we?
Yeah.
sure. Well, Professor Lilith came in early with the $5 tip. Says, as of today, I can ride pink and yellow butterflies in No Man's Sky. Gloat,
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 gloat, gloat.
gloat. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely be
Load it
talking
up.
about that in
We
a
will
little
talk
bit.
about that, yeah.
Nihilus Ryan, the game feline with the $5 tip, says, with Box In, I finally found a game I'm good enough to get on the leaderboards. Currently at number 12, right next to Brian. Birdface Killer
Nice.
5. That's me. I've
Birdface Killer.
certainly seen your name on the leaderboards. I
That's
love
right.
that game, man. I'm definitely going to be back and getting more high scores there. Bel Ramio, the game cat, with the 27.99 euros, says, I'm in a good mood today, so here's my 2 cents. Cent 1 and cent 2 and some more. Thanks, Bel.
Thank
Loyal,
you, Bel Ram.
Thanks,
loyal
man.
moderator. Thank you to all the
I
moderators out
think-
there, by
I
the
think
way.
I've
You guys
got-
yeah.
I think I've got more news for you, Bel Ramio, that'll make you even more happy, hopefully.
And then finally, the last tip comes to us from Looper, the game cat, with the 5 euros. Is Hitman the only PSVR game where you can poke NPCs while they talk to you and they will actually show some reaction to it?
I swear there's been some other game where people will stop talking if you bump into them, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Like,
This seems to be a viewer takeover question. We do serious research.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I'd have to. I'd have
know.
to really think about it. Is Hitman the only PSVR game where you can poke NPCs while they talk to you and they'll actually?
There's really
Yeah, I
nothing
don't
better
know.
than poking NPCs.
There's definitely some stuff you can do in Blood and Truth where you can. They actually re-recorded each segment, each conversation 1,000,000 times or whatever, and like depending on like if somebody hands you sunglasses and you like throw it at them, they're like asshole, or if you like put them on, they're like yeah, you look cool. And there's like little different reactions you can get there. I was trying to think maybe Aspire 1, but that's more voice command.
Oh, Trover. Braxton mentions Trover. There's a lot
a
of
good one.
contextual, like, based on what you do, the dialogue changes a little bit, and they'll
Yeah.
respond to what you did if you hit a mid-sentence or something like that.
I'll have to look at the library of PSVR and get back to you on that one.
They want to see your hat collection, Brian. I think it's just that one hat,
Yeah, this is
right?
it. Yeah, I've got
It's
a
just
bunch.
the one hat.
I've got a bunch of kind of like beanie type things for like the fall and winter. I have a nice little collection of those, but they're all fairly generic. This is. I just wear this for GamesCast. I don't even wear hats in real life. This is
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
not
it.
I wish I was a hat guy. I always wished I was a hat guy.
Yeah.
Lately, I've become like a headband guy just to keep it out of my eyes.
Nice.
And my neighbor said it was really cool, and I looked like Willie Nelson or something, and I was like, "Sweet, thanks, man." Not Willie Nelson. Who did he say? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
pretty random. All right, guys, it's time to move on. I think yesterday we got a little bit of news regarding a VR game that's been in development since late last year. I want to say like it was first unveiled October of 2020. It's called Samurai Slaughterhouse. Did you guys see the new trailer for this?
I did. It looks pretty cool. Although all the stuff you were saying in terms of like it's a lot deeper. It's like an open world game and all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get that from the video, so
Oh.
I'm really curious to see like how those two end up, in the same game, right?
Yeah,
Because
well,
it looks very stylish and like I like the combat looks fun. There's like it's got a cool Japanese art style. Like I don't know, it looks.
I think the name of this game alone sells 50 copies by itself.
Yeah.
Samurai Slaughterhouse.
yeah.
That is awesome.
I do. I think the art style alone sells a ton of copies because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were talking about how it's reminiscent of Mad World over on Wii. That was an interesting
Oh,
Sega
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
The three colors are black, white, and red. Black, white, and blood, basically. And yeah, this is this
Well,
totally
it's very based off of manga, and what is it? It's an open world sword fighting like adventure, and it's like based off of manga and anime, right?
yeah. It's definitely what he said were his influences. It's a one man development team.
I have a feeling, based on what I saw, that he also played a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima. I have to assume this guy is a little influenced by Ghost of
Maybe.
Tsushima. I mean, if he's making like an open world samurai game and stuff, like there's hints of it in there for sure.
So this is made by Tab Games again, one person, and so this is kind of a swordsman story all over again. Except the scope here seems bigger. Like Dave was saying, there's a lot going on here, and so after I did my breaking news report, Tab Games joined our Discord. It's always nice when you see
Oh,
developers pop in over there, and I was like, hey man, I've got tons of questions for you. I'm pretty sure you can't answer any of them yet, and I was like, but I posed a couple and said when you can answer them, let me know. And he just like answered everything. So I was like, oh cool.
Oh,
And
well,
so,
what did he say?
well, so the open world aspect was actually my biggest question, and the great thing about this is it's Metroidvania, essentially, where it is an open world. And what you're doing is you're walking from town to town to town. And as you walk into different towns, there'll be NPCs that you interact with, and they will give you quests, like side quests or main quests. And then that opens up another area of the town or another area of the world. And then also you will, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to call it upgrade, because I think that that infers something that I don't know if is in the game or not, but you will get new abilities. And those abilities, like most Metroidvanias, will allow you to access new areas of the map. And so it is, as far as I can tell, about as Metroidvania as it gets. And that's how it works. And you run around and kill lots of dudes.
It's a good gameplay style. Like, I mean, Metroidvanias have been super popular up there with roguelikes. Sometimes they throw them in the same game these days. But yeah, I'm excited about that. It sounds pretty good.
Well, mechanics, yeah. This sounds like almost too good to be true for just one guy. I love it, though. I mean, I really hope it delivers on everything. When you mentioned that to me, like some of the Metroidvania stuff, that is like, wow, that is some of my favorite stuff there. Just giving a reason to revisit certain areas, and then that, that feeling of being there and like not, and then seeing it. Returnal did this too, where you see something and you can't do anything with it, and you're like, "I'll be back for you, you bastard," and then you get whatever power up it is, and you come back and you're like, "Yes," and it's just like super easy. And yeah, but man, just the game, just the style, the influences behind this game, I think are perfect. I think it's something that we could really use, kind of unique in its own way, and just sword fighting games are amazing in VR when they're done right. So just get the physics right, get the gameplay right, this one has me really excited, even though it's super early.
Yeah, 100% agree.
The only thing I guess I'm a little concerned about with the art style is, even though I like it, this kind of lends itself to, like, we see VR games like this that are more snappy and short and arcade focused, or like usually a style like this you'd put in something like a Super Hot, or like that upcoming noir rhythm action game where you're hitting guys and it's just that stark color palette. Or even like Pistol Whip when it first came out, like pretty stark kind of design. But at the same time, like for an open world game, when I'm going around talking to NPCs, entering new villages and stuff, I kind of almost want like a more traditional art style in those kind of scenarios. Like if everything's
like
super duper stylized and I'm walking through this giant world, it's like, oh God, can I just get a village where it's not all white and black and red for a second, please?
I can understand that. I can understand if it's too much, like if it's too long of a game where it's just black and white and then leaves you that something to be desired. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah. What was the
like a lot of fun. So.
What was the PlayStation VR horror game? I always get it. It looks like Blind, right? It's like the whole thing is
Stifled.
Stifled. Thank you. Yeah. The whole thing is.
I never even played that one actually, but
I would say 90% of that game is just black background with white wireframe graphics, and you're picking up things and use echolocation, but it's all black and white and very, very, very simple. And after a while, you're just like, okay, I've had enough of this. But then you go into like these other states, like these other, like, I don't know if it's memories or what it is. It's been a while since I played it, where it's like the game is fully rendered, and it's like, and it kind of gives you a break from that, and you kind of go and like get a little bit of story stuff, and then eventually the nightmare kicks back in, and you're back into that world. I would love to see something like that in this, just to kind of like keep, as you said, keep it from getting stale. It's like, you walk into a town, you meet somebody and then it's like, you have this flashback of memory, and you play through the game, fully rendered, more realistic style. And then when you get back to this, you get to appreciate it a little bit more. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens.
Could be cool.
Developers spend more time in their games than anyone else. So if anyone's sick of it, then he is. So he would know. Yep.
It's a good way to change it up, though. And I actually recently played Stifled for the first time because of viewers' choice, and I was so glad they did.
Good job,
because I was pleasantly surprised. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought. I liked it more than Intruders. But I don't know if I'm super motivated to go back and play it, but I was like, oh, this is just really cool and stuff. And yeah, the art style and everything didn't bother me. So, but yeah, super excited about this one, but it isn't coming until 2022. Probably going to be later in 2022 as well.
Yeah. Give him time. He's just one dude.
He's just one dude, and everything he said up to this point was pretty much like, oh, if it comes to PSVR or PSVR 2, it'll probably be another team. They'll take care of that. He's like, I don't really know anything about it. And then and then as of yesterday, yeah, he tweeted and said, oh, yeah, no, the plan is definitely PSVR, PSVR 2. So we'll see, where PSVR 1 is when this game is ready to launch and see if it's even like a viable option at that point. Who knows?
Yeah,
anything's possible.
This late in getting started, I would definitely see this being more of a PSVR 2 title, more likely.
Yeah. AJ, you did a little bit of streaming on your channel yesterday. I think you
had a good week, man.
Yeah.
It's been a fun week, dude.
Nice. I think you played something that you'd like to enlighten us about.
Yes, something that was rather surprising to me. So I checked out. We had this conversation like I think Monday, and I was talking about and last week, and I was talking about Minecraft and my issues with getting into Minecraft. How I just can't see it. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what it is, or maybe it's just not for me. But there was this thing that I addressed last week that, hey, there was this How to Train Your Dragon. I think it's just called DreamWorks Dragons DLC that had come out. And I checked it out. And man, I got to be honest with you. Like, I was finally like, okay, I finally get what makes Minecraft cool in a way. Now, I don't think this applies to maybe everything, but at least regarding this pack. And I mean this in the best way. But this DLC was very not Minecraft-y, if that makes sense. Like, these blocks, right? When I first played the Minecraft, it was very simplistic looking. It was just okay, and like visually. And I like to explore. I like exploration more than I do crafting and stuff and building. But this one, man, these environments and stuff. Hopefully, you have a video of it going too. These environments and stuff are impressive. When you take those little blocks and you put 50 to 100,000 of them with certain textures. You ever seen like those pictures where it's like a really detailed, awesome picture that looks amazing, and then you look closer and it's all a bunch of little pictures? It was kind of the same thing. It's like they use so many blocks and everything to build these. There's like everything from ships. Like some of the graphically like looked really good than a lot of other VR stuff, and it was very surprising. But essentially, it took me about 5 hours or something to beat it. I beat it last night. I played the first couple hours on stream, and you literally get to ride around Dargans a shit ton. You get to collect. The objective is you just go on an adventure. I was like, I want this to give me an adventure. I love adventure, and this delivered, man. So I was really happy with it. Some quick notes is like you ride a shit ton of dragons. You have full control, and I can't tell you how amazing it feels to have full control of riding a dragon. Dare I say the dragon riding experience might be better than Skyrim's because you actually get to have full control and use it to explore the world. While Skyrim, you're kind of like you get on it and then like it flies back and forth and you just kind of shoot. So
I love this comment from Lilith. AJ grudgingly admits maybe the most popular video game in the world has some good points.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure it out. I just couldn't figure it out. But a couple of notes though. You have to go into the game, Minecraft. You have to own it already. You have to go into the game, go to the store within it, and then purchase the pack.
And I assume it's $10, right?
It was like 6 or 7, something like that.
Oh, okay. I saw it was $6.79 in pounds, so I figured it was like $9.99.
No, it was only like $7 or $8. But this was really good. And no, I haven't seen the movies. Everyone was saying like, oh, you'd like this much more if you watch the movie. So I guess I'll have to check out the movies at some point. Sometimes video games can inspire me to get into series like The Walking Dead. After playing Saints and Sinners, I really wanted to watch the show, and that worked. So
from what I know, How to Train Your Dragon is like the best DreamWorks thing.
It's really good.
Right? Like people like it.
As fantastic,
a lot of DreamWorks stuff is sort of like middle of the road. Like we can tell you're not Pixar guys. It's come on, keep it moving. But then sometimes they hit one out of the park, and it sounds like that's what How to Train Your Dragon is. I haven't seen it myself.
2 tips get caught up on here. Your Long Shadows, the 50 Nokia phones. So just to balance things out so he doesn't develop issues. Dave, you have a great personality.
I've already developed issues, but that's okay. I thank you. I do appreciate that.
Nice. And a Hobbit Game Cat Rare with a 5 quid says, "Evening peeps, I'm still around. Everything's fine. Work and family getting in the way, as they should at the moment." Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man.
Real life has been crazy over the last year. So people have been coming and going and whatever, and we're just happy you stopped in, said hi, and we'll be here for you, man, when shit settles down a little bit.
But yeah, man, just wanted to give some mad props to that, and I'm gonna be exploring more Minecraft packs to see if I do. Although somebody, I think Belramio actually warned me. He's like, "Don't do the Star Wars one," because I was actually gonna check out the Star Wars one next.
Are you a Jurassic Park fan?
Yes.
The Jurassic
absolutely.
World one I bought when it first came out on PS4, and it ran kind of laggy, like it was kind of juddery and stuff, because the whole park is rendered like it's like huge, and you can walk around and do all this shit, and you're riding the monorail through and stuff.
He told me that one was really good.
It got pretty juddery on the PS4, but I wonder if maybe if you play on your PS5, it'll run smooth enough. Like it might. It's worth a shot. But yeah, that one seemed kind of fun, and there's a lot to do in it. Like you have to go out and rescue dinosaurs and put down certain dinosaurs and do shit in the park. A lot of quests and stuff.
It's like what Ark Park should have been, is what it sounds like.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it totally is what Ark Park should have been, except for it's just like an $8 install on Minecraft. So yeah.
He says try the Pac-Man next. See, that's the thing. I love all the Minecraft stuff that's like not very Minecrafty, but we'll see, man. There's more to explore there. But just had to bring that up because that is relatively new. It came out only 3 weeks ago, but man, it was a lot of fun, and ran into a couple cats last night playing it too. And then they came in right at the end when I was done, so I just dumped like Scobie Man, the game cat, was there. I just dumped like so many resources, so many armor things. He was probably just like, "What the hell, dude?" But yeah, it was fun, man. Good stuff. It was really fun to ride around the dragons. And there was one funny moment. I'll end it with this, but there was a moment where you actually can have the dragons, like you can tell them to sit or stand or whatever, and they'll follow you if they're standing. So you can have your main dragon and then like have the line of them following you as you fly around. Also amazing soundtrack. But then like they were all like flying together and I was like, yes, they're following me. And then I looked back and they're all like clipping through each other and like stuck together because that's like the one place. So there's a little bit of jankiness still that Minecraft has not done, but I think it's kind of a miracle that we even got it in VR at all. But I will say, when you're flying around this full open world, and stuff on a dragon, it feels pretty damn immersive too.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. I saw a little bit of your footage. I haven't checked this one out. Your Long Shadow says there's a Toy Story pack. Be careful what you're buying because some of these packs are not like a game. Like AJ got, like How to Train Your Dragon was like a whole game, right? Like you do things. It's got things, quests, game, like objectives. Yeah, exactly. And Jurassic World is like that too. But I think there are certain ones like Toy Story. I don't think there is a Toy Story campaign. I think you just get skins.
Yeah.
So just double check what you're buying before. I think Star Wars is mostly skins too, right?
Yep.
It's just all skins.
It's just you look at it. So
yeah, go for the campaign-oriented ones if you're going to spend money on DLC. I mean, unless you really just want to buy the stuff.
Yep.
It's up to you.
All right, but good stuff though, man. Highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. If you already own Minecraft, excellent reason to jump back in. Can't recommend that pack enough.
Excellent. Dude, two things, right? One, before I went to bed last night, I saw that I saw that No Man's Sky was getting an update, and it was like version 3.5 or something along those lines, and it started downloading. I was like, I should check this out before I go to sleep, and I was like, fuck, man, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I just should go to sleep. And Sean Murray had tweeted yesterday, like this little prism, right, with a rainbow coming out of it, and it was, I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's an interesting way to support Pride Month. I'm like, there's a rainbow there. I was like, but anytime he like tweets out just a symbol, it's generally, referencing
mass chaos,
something, yeah,
mass chaos in the street everywhere,
right? And so I was like, how coincidental would it be if this happens? If this is actually a No Man's Sky update and this rainbow has nothing to do with Pride? And man,
that's correct.
It was very coincidental.
Yeah.
So the Prisms update came out today. AJ, I think you spent a ton of time playing this on your channel today, didn't you?
And I'm jealous because I was at work and I was like, oh God, I want to play this thing. It looks so nice.
Yeah, man. I did get to stream this today, and oh my god, man. I was expecting just riding mounts, just being able to, that was the big part of this update, is oh my god, you can ride the flying creatures now, which I thought was amazing. But there was a lot more in store that really surprised me, including there's new shadows and like lighting.
Well, we should just say out of the gate, this is a complete graphic overhaul. The lighting has been redone. All the environments look different. The creatures have fur on them now. Like, this is...
Well, not in VR, but...
Not in VR? Oh, okay.
No fur in VR, but it didn't make a difference.
Doesn't matter. But still, like, I saw it side by side, and I'm like, oh my god, a cave never looked like that before. They're just gorgeous, gorgeous levels. And it's like a major update. It's not some little patch or anything. So that said,
the water they actually fixed finally, which looked, even when they did the PS5 patch, the water looked the same. They updated that. I mean, you're absolutely right, Dave. This is on the scale of a major graphical overhaul that affected VR. It didn't get every single thing that the other stuff got, the flat screen got, but it did get a significant amount. Shadows, lighting, reflections on lots of surfaces now. They tripled, quadrupled something, the stars in the sky at night. So the sky is just full of stars now. They changed the warp. Whenever you warp, it looks like it's so trippy, man. It looks so good now, and it's so colorful and beautiful. They actually updated the caves. And so the caves did get an overhaul. And then finally, in my notes at least, they have some new thing in the space station, and there's something there where you can like override the space station. I have no idea what that is, but absolutely mind blowing. And again, flying shit around a world in VR is fun as hell, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is one of the best feelings ever to be floating around 50 feet up in the air on a jellyfish or a butterfly and just cruising around admiring the sights.
That's awesome. So I assume you just like feed them some food, make friends with them, and they're like, hop on, Buster, and then they're a little
harder to catch.
Okay.
But Brian, did you get a chance to play this?
I did actually. So
tell me about it.
Well, me explaining what I did for the last 2 hours before GamesCast is going to be wildly different than you explaining what you did during your 3-hour live stream, because I jump in and I go, what am I supposed to do? Right? How do I do literally anything? It's always a challenge. But man, but after having just played with Nick, and Nick's extremely patient with me, I was able to jump in today and go, oh, okay, and I'm like, using my quick menus and go in my inventory, and one of the first things I did, like where I had my last save, I was like, this planet with all these fucking creatures all over the place. I was like, this is the perfect place to start out this, because I get to try shit out, and so I'm way behind everybody else when it comes to No Man's Sky. I crafted like food pellets or whatever it is, creature pellets, for the very first time ever. Nice. And so like, and so I fed it to like some thing that was like, this giant fucking like mini dinosaur that was just like climbing around this beach. And I was like, I want you as a pet. I want to ride you. And I got to. And I was like, that was way easier than like the last time I tried, when they first added pets. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I jumped into the game. I was so fucking lost. And this time I jumped in and I was like, oh, okay, we'll just craft this thing, feed it to that, jump in, done. Like, it was so easy. And so, like, I'm getting there. I didn't get to do any of the flying stuff because, like, I will say, I knew there were flying things around because there would be a shadow that would just, like, go flying past me, right? It was just like, boom, and I'd be like, oh, wait, what was that? And I'd look up, and it was like, what you would do in real life. A shadow on the ground distracts you. Is like something, like, just fucking got in the way of you in the sun. And I was climbing these cliffs. I was trying to get on top of trees, get closer to them and stuff, because I wanted to fly one around, but I couldn't do it. And I actually ended up doing like missions and stuff. I ended up just being like, oh, I don't want to quit this game quite yet. So I spent 2 hours today just like running around, discovering stuff, learning languages, like just doing fucking No Man's Sky stuff. And so even though my little rant here has nothing really to do with the update, which I don't play it enough. And so like the graphical updates were like, the particle effects were cool and the shadows were cool, but like I didn't see like a massive improvement.
To me, it looked to me like they had reskinned like everything almost.
It changed so much in the way stuff looked, the way light comes through the trees. And what's cool about this is the effect that it had actually, like, so after the PS5 patch, there were still like forests and stuff. And when those forests, all those trees were bundled together, it still got a little bit blurry in the background. And somehow this helped that. I don't know how, but somehow the lighting actually helped the trees in the distance like smooth it out a little bit. It's incredible what they do with this shit, man. I don't know how they do it, but it is absolutely mind blowing. You can tell right now. I'm still like you. I'm having like flashbacks right now of just like holy shit, that was amazing, man. So incredible.
Man, I really need to get back in tonight. I might stream it. I still have this problem where one of my Move controllers, if it's not plugged directly into the PlayStation for an hour before I play, just is always dead. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I was going to play it before GamesCast because I really wanted to get in and check it out and have like real opinions, right? You know, because like all I've seen is, you know, secondhand. I watched their little trailer of, you know, these are the updates. And that's actually really cool if you're curious everything they did. There's like a 1 minute 45 video that they posted. I saw it on my PlayStation, but I'm sure it's online somewhere. And it's just like, we did this, and then he turns a corner and they show off the lighting and they're like, we did this too, and then he turns another corner and they show something else off, and so it's like a really smooth, you know, just like here's all the new stuff, much better than we could say it because they're actually showing it off, you know. But yeah, for sure, I definitely want to check that out tonight.
I hope you do stream it tonight, because I would like to jump in. I always hate when I miss AJ's streams. I jumped in for a little bit, and I had other work to do, and so it would be nice to kind of like see you jump in and see what your like firsthand impressions are.
Yeah,
AJ's impressed by everything all the time. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Everybody loves AJ. Everyone loves your streams because they're like, oh my god, every time there's a new patch, AJ freaks the fuck out. I love watching this shit.
It blows
somebody
my
earlier
mind,
said
man.
there should be a compilation video of just like all your like over the top responses to like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah,
I could get on the guy.
It's Shades of
like
Grey
a
Matter
dream
was saying
come
that.
True. Every update is just like, oh my god, I wanted this. Oh my god, I wanted this, and it's just I love exploration is my favorite thing in video games, and there's nothing I love more than to just be able to keep playing and keep being surprised by environments, enemies, creatures, whatever it is, and they just keep doing ways and to make it fun and exciting, and it's just absolutely mind blowing to me, man. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So you know it's kind of like part of it too. I mean, imagine if Resident Evil 7, Brian, was
Just
getting updated every single week.
Thinking the exact same thing. Absolutely. But I love this because I do feel like this, you know, despite the fact that like I think when the PSVR patch came out, I either did a 6-hour or 12-hour live stream, you know, but then like they got a PlayStation 5 patch. It's gotten the derelict freighter patch. It's gotten, I mean, just like patch after patch after patch after patch with like just tons and tons of stuff where it's like I don't even know what's new and what's old anymore. I have no idea. It's just fucking so much. And so I feel like I'm finally getting into this game now. And so despite all of this, the time I spent with it prior, I feel like I'm finally getting into it now for the first time really, and like learning the ins and outs and stuff. And today I was just having an absolute blast playing it. So yeah, this is I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait to fly around on something. Like that is my goal for the night, is to fly around on something.
Well, so Brian, in some ways, I feel like you're a little better off because as someone who's spent hours, hundreds of hours, like in it flat before it even came to VR, and then spent a decent amount of hours in it in VR when it first came out, like I understand the weight of everything I've forgotten how to do, and like that is not on the front of my mind anymore. And so like it's almost overwhelming to get back in and be like, oh god, all the systems I forgot about. Okay, let's just get back to speed. Because I know it deep in my brain somewhere, but just like digging that back out of the, you know, not recent memory file is kind of a hassle sometimes.
I restarted once, even though I play on my main save file that I have had since like 2016. I've restarted several times, but I restarted once since all these updates, and I still had a fun time. Like there's restart, keep going, doesn't matter. You're gonna have a blast, man. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, this is great, man. Like they keep updating this game, and I just don't see them stopping. Somebody in the comments said, "Can you imagine if they keep updating this game for 5 years, for the next 5 years?" And like, Dan Kiefer, sorry, I just wanted to give credit where credit was due, and I was like, I kind of don't see them stopping. I've I feel like eventually just like this is gonna be like one of those Grand Theft Auto 5 games where eventually just everybody owns it. And it could really be, you know, I do think it's kind of a killer app for PlayStation VR 1 right now, but with the caveat of saying if you have a PlayStation 5, if they update this thing for PSVR 2, like I think it could certainly be a killer app for VR. So
I don't know. It's a little too. It takes a little too much investment to be a killer app. I think this isn't just like everybody's cup of tea. Like to get really into No Man's Sky, you really have to be willing to dive into these systems and learn a lot of it yourself, and just put a lot of time in. And it's not like immediately rewarding in a lot of ways. You know, it's like a slow burn grind kind of game.
Depends on what you taste of. Yeah,
I don't think that kind of game is ever going to be like a killer app. Like I think it's going to be something way more accessible and quick to get into, or something that has just like a straightforward
something amazing
narrative or something like that. Either multiplayer or single player narrative, but not this kind of weird amalgam of like you just kind of wander around in a sort of MMO world, but do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't really matter, but can do stuff. Like I don't know. People want a more streamlined experience, I think, to be their like killer app.
yeah,
People,
But I mean,
yeah.
apps, I mean.
I agree. I mean, like calling something killer app, I mean, would probably be something along the lines of. I mean, I don't know, man. Like because I think Skyrim is kind of in the same boat. I think Minecraft is kind of in the same boat. And there's something about No Man's Sky where like if you actually follow the directions like on screen and you just kind of like go step by step from in the first half hour or so, I think it's extremely rewarding. I think like you're walking around and you're sort of just like on your own and you can't do anything, and then like you're getting these abilities as you sort of upgrade your equipment and you upgrade your ship or you repair your ship, and then the second. Like, I don't think it is as monumental on the flat screen, but when you're in VR and like you push the thruster for the first time on your ship from inside the ship and you just go, boom, it's like, whoa, I was just walking around and like everything was half broken. And now I'm taking off from the fucking surface of the planet. Like, that is an incredible feeling. And I think if people at least make it that far, they go, this is fucking insane. And in VR, it's really, really impactful.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's hard for me to like keep that in mind sometimes, that they made it more accessible, because like when I first played it, it was not like there was not the onboarding system that they have now, where it's like, hey, here's what you need to do, go here, and it's like pretty easy. You get done in an hour and then you're up and running, and the game tells you, you know, what's going on. Like I didn't know what the fuck to do, and it took me a long time, and it was treacherous, and I felt like I didn't know. It was obtuse, you know. So they've definitely gone a long way in like making it easier for new players. But once you crack the surface, there's still so much under there that is like that you can learn or have to learn, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, that's for sure, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, this cave system that you're in, I'm sort of watching your stream in the corner of the.
Ooh, I want to watch it.
Yeah, the cave system you're in looks stunning. Like I just absolutely love the lighting effects. This is nice. Like this is some stuff I didn't really see.
Different.
Yeah. So, you know, again, I sort of stayed in the same sort of like little galaxy that our solar system. I don't know science. Somebody tell me what's the smaller one. I don't know. So I just kind of bounced between the 3 planets that I was sort of near in my saved game and just kind of checked all those out. But man, like something like this would have been a lot more interesting to see in VR. So I'm gonna dive in more tonight, man. I really want to play more of this, and I think No Man's Sky finally got its hooks in me today.
All right.
Nice. Been waiting years to hear that, Brian. All right, guys. Do you want to? We got 2 more news stories. You want to tackle these real quick?
Sure. I say let's tackle them, man.
Let's tackle them.
So the first one is Little Witch Academia. A game that I thought we would never see. This is like one of those ones where I was like, it's coming to PlayStation VR. And I was like, you know, it's like years out. There's a chance that everything could go to hell. Surprisingly, I got this from N4G. They say today, Tokyo-based developer Universe announced a release date for its anime-based VR game, Little Witch Academia VR Broom Racing on PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, and Steam VR. The game will launch on July 15th, following nearly a year of exclusivity for Oculus Quest. So
I didn't even know this was on Oculus Quest, honestly. I've never seen it in the store. And I swear to God, we already had a Witch Broom Racing anime game in the Japan store. There is
right.
totally already a witch broom racing game in the Japan store that I thought was the same thing as this.
For PlayStation?
And
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, I've heard this game has issues, but I can say, similar to what I liked about Eagle Flight and Ultra Wings and even the Minecraft Dargans. By the way, we might have missed a tip from Joe Grover. Now that I think about it, now that I say
We
that.
did.
Well, since you mentioned it, we got Red Rover. Red Rover sent Joe Grover right over the effing game cap with the $30 tip. Says just out and blasting back into another meeting. Cheers, fella. Dargans.
Dargans.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes,
We love you. Appreciate it.
I almost redid my thumbnail to say Dargans instead of
I
Dragons.
wanted to redo it for
You
you
should
while you
have.
were streaming.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had other shit to do.
Yeah, I posted it in Minecraft, in the Minecraft section channel. I posted the alternate universe picture. But anyways, I like these kinds of games in VR where you fly through the rings and stuff. I think they're fun. The problem is, what makes me worried is that, like, even the one comment that I see here is hope they fixed many of the game's pitfalls. So sounds like there were some issues with it. I haven't read any reviews. Maybe somebody can look it up real quick and see what they're like. But I typically like games like this, and I don't mind the style or anything. Problem is, I just don't know how good this is actually going to be. But it looks like something I would enjoy in general. It looks like something I would like.
I'm curious to see, because the racing itself looks great. The environments are, cartoony, and everything looks like it's, flying by pretty fast. So I hope it's got a nice sense of speed. My question really is this going to Iron Man the fuck out of us? Where we're like, every time we're off the broom, we're like, another conversation. Like,
Oh, no.
because this is based on anime, correct? So, like, are they going to be trying to, like, do all this fan service stuff where it's like, like making sure that the story is told well, and that there's interactions with characters that you're going to want to see, and dressing room modes and all this nonsense between races, where it's like, are people who aren't obsessed with the anime going to care about any of this stuff between races? Because even Iron Man, I mean, they kind of botched everything about that game when you're not in the suit. Like, all the suit stuff is great, but when you're out of the suit, when you're Tony Stark, when you're talking to characters, when you're doing whatever, it's like slow, and let me get back in the suit and do cool stuff again. So I really, really hope that's not the case with this.
I'm reading some reviews, and they're so interesting the way they word some of these opinions. Like, if you're looking for a well-designed magical racing game, Little Witch Academia VR Broom Racing is just what you're looking for. I'm just not sure you'll enjoy it.
What?
it's like what?
6 out of 10. Like, what? Okay.
It's a 55. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing higher than 55 on Metacritic. It's the other ones are a 50 and a 35.
So it's what I'm looking for,
That's
but I
what-
just might not
Might not
enjoy
like it. Yeah, it's like, oh, you wanted this. You were really excited about it.
That sounds
and
about
you
right.
Didn't enjoy it.
That might be an actually more accurate
wait,
review.
no, it's $40 on PSVR. No,
No.
you gotta be fucking
On Steam?
Look at the Upload VR. It says $39.99 on PSVR.
Get out of here.
I mean, this better be a really fucking deep
No,
broom racing
I am-
adventure.
$40?
Unless I get a key, I am not playing.
Okay.
I've already talked to the PR guys.
Fuck that.
They wanted to pay us to make content for it. I was like, listen, we're going to cover it the way we always cover it.
Just
Just
send
make
me a
sure
key.
we all
I'll
get
give you
keys.
that.
So hopefully we'll get keys and we'll be able to cover it.
$40? Oh my God. Braxton
damn.
was right. It is a cash grab.
That's ridiculous.
It's like another $40. Jesus. $40. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Oh
right.
man, I about threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Other flying stuff.
All right, guys. So the other last bit of news before we get on to 20 questions is Yuki got a little bit of an update, and a little bit of an update that I must say I'm a little bit disappointed in.
No.
We did get a new trailer for Yuki, and it was okay. I don't know if I like it more than the old trailer. To be honest with you,
tell what the gameplay is like exactly.
I like the gameplay. Well, the gameplay is you'll be holding the controllers and you'll be like playing a bullet hell, but you'll be like remember the Star Fox from
Pixel 95.
Yeah, what I'm picturing is you're holding like a paper airplane version of a shoot 'em up guy.
right.
I don't know how. I hope it's good. Conceptually, I love bullet hells. And I like that they're sticking with their sort of like nostalgic, like kid oriented, like it's this fun. Everybody remembers playing with paper airplanes and stuff and imagining that you were flying around and stuff. But like, I don't know if that's exciting to me in a VR game. I would much rather just control the thing with a controller and be in VR and play an actual bullet hell where I have like some good precision. Because like if I'm doing this all day, I'm not going to feel like I'm playing a bullet hell. I'm going to feel like I'm like knitting or something. You know, like it's not the same
What
exciting.
are you good
feeling.
against knitting?
Well, my wrist hurts already from doing that. I have bad wrists.
Yeah, this is I mean, it was really, really fun to play this style of game in Pixel 95 for like 5 to 10 minutes. I thought that was really cool. And they were like, we're going to make a whole game out of that. I was like, okay, well, hopefully it's fun for hours at a time. I think the trailer looks fine. I'm not really concerned about that.
It does look fantastic to me, like that there's a lot of variety in the scenery and the enemies and stuff like that. I will say it looks excellent to me that way.
But it's the news that came out today that you sort of hinted at that I think...
What's the news, AJ?
Well, the news...
Or Brian.
I'll say I think AJ is going to lose his mind if he has to say it. So let me take care of this. Is that
Okay.
it's coming to like to most platforms this summer, and then PSVR later. And I think
Question mark.
and I think we're all just getting a little bit tired of that. Like PSVR is getting the short end of the stick left and right. And I understand from like a business perspective, you got to be like, well, if we have to like put one of these on hold to get this game out the door as fast as possible, which one are we going to do? Like obviously you're not going to hold back the Quest version. The Quest version, what's going to make you the most money is fucking get that thing out the door. It's probably going to be the easiest one to develop for too. So fucking push it out, man. But like it's just a message that I'm getting real tired of hearing. You know, it's like it happened with Wraith, it's happened with plenty of other titles, and now it's happening with Yuki. And I'm like, immediately when I hear this message, I go, you know what? You don't care all that much about us. I'm losing interest in your game by the second, right? It's like such an immature reaction. But I'm just being honest. That's my gut reaction when I hear news like this. I'm like, you don't give a fuck? I don't give a fuck. You know, when it gets here, I'll be like, okay, I can't wait to fucking play this. But in the meantime, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me is there's these companies that we kind of saw as like giving us like really quintessential PSVR games, like things that solidified why people love PSVR, right? So like Firewall Zero Hour, that's like the only game some people play on PSVR, right? Like it's so good that people are that sucked into it. And then with Solaris, they were like, we'll get to you guys later. And it's the same thing here. Like Pixel Rip, when the first one came out, that was like a cool moment for us, I think, as PSVR owners, to be able to play that and get a good version of it and stuff. And like, it felt like one of those things you could recommend to anybody, right? And so to see that they're doing the same thing, where like with the second Pixel Rip game, we got delayed as well, right? We had to wait for that one. And then it is a pattern that I don't like to see very much, but it seems like everybody's doing it. So we got to get used to it.
The only reason I'm disappointed is because I feel like I'm the most excited. I'm more excited about this game than anybody else, and so I feel like that's why it really pisses me off is that I have to wait for it on our platform. But you know, I kind of, like you said, I kind of understand. You know, but it's purely a business decision. But I don't know. I just hope. Like Wraith, The Oblivion Afterlife, because when this happened, I was honestly like, okay, I'm not excited about this game anymore. I'm like, it's gonna, you know, it kind of kills my interest in it when this happens. If they come out and say, well, this version isn't, when companies come out and say our game is not up to our standards right now, or it's not good enough to be released yet. Then I'm like, okay, take your time, take as much time as you need. This is not that situation. This is, we are targeting the hot platform right now and just trying to get as much money as possible and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's discouraging to me. And I'm just like, you know what? It just makes me, I take it kind of personal. I'm like, you know what? Fine. It just, something about it psychologically kills my hype for it.
Yeah.
And it makes me not as excited as I was before about it. And
Like I said, it's an immature reaction, but like I think it's a natural reaction. Yeah, we're fucking gamers, man. We're gamers first before anything else. And okay, give us the update, Dave. I saw that.
Well, okay, first thing. First thing is Ricky is in the chat from Arvory. Ricardo,
what's up, man?
And he says, we're doing our best to bring this to PSVR as fast as possible. So I think there might be cases in which we assume it's like, oh, they're just doing this because they don't care about PSVR. And really, it's just a logistical thing. And like, you know, there's business reasons for everything. And like, it sounds like they're actually really trying to get it to us. So thank you, Ricky, for hanging out.
The comment he's leaving are great, and this is the kind of stuff we like to hear more about. Like, when you announce these things on Twitter, when you say, "Hey, PlayStation VR later," say, "Hey," as he said in the chat here, tackling Quest QA, which is extensive, and PSVR QA also very complex. At the same time, it's just not something that was feasible. Sadly, he says we do care about you guys, and we will bring it out as fast as we can.
Yeah, we know the Sony QA process is like
a nightmare.
QA. Yeah, I hear about the QA is also.
Sony QA has always been. Developers tell us that's kind of a nightmare to go through. So.
Absolutely.
What's up, Ricardo?
Are we
I've
okay?
talked to you before,
Ryan, you froze up on my end.
You guys froze up on my end for a second, but everything seems to be back up and running.
Okay, cool. As long as chat doesn't say everything's broken. I can't believe it hasn't crashed.
I've had the pleasure of meeting
so it doesn't crash.
Ricardo with when Pixel Rip 1995 launched. We did an interview with Anna and that team over there, and really really nice guy. I appreciate you dropping him in. I'm just jealous. Okay, that's all it is. I'm just jealous that other platforms are going to get it first, and this has been happening to us over and over and over lately. And yeah, man. It's nothing against the game personal. I'm still super excited to play it. I love Bullet Hells, Einhander, Life Force are some of my favorite games of all time, and I can't wait to play it, man. But I'm gonna have to wait longer.
I will be that excited about playing it when we get a release date, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that's but right now I'm just like now suddenly in my mind it went back burner, and I will think about Yuki again when we get a date. Yeah. All right, you guys. It is time to do a little bit of 20 questions, PSVR 20 questions. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, you are the host this week. Sirens on my end. That's me. Let me put a few seconds up on the clock. Chat, make sure you help us out here. We need your help to get to this answer. We've got 20 yes or no questions to figure out the PlayStation VR game that Dave is thinking of. On your mark, get set, go.
Hold on. Oh, God, we're already starting. Okay. No, we can start.
I paused. Do you want me to restart it?
I realized that I hadn't really solidified one. I thought we were doing my should we, shouldn't we first, but it's okay. I'll come up with one right now. I got it. Let's go.
Okay, go. Does it have aim support?
No.
Does it have move support?
No, but it was promised. Nope, I won't say that.
DualShock only. Oh, what did he just almost?
Yeah, right.
Oh shit.
Right?
Oh. Wait, I could guess the game right now.
Is there a device in the game that looks like a Move controller?
Fuck, you guys got it so fast.
Is it Robinson the Journey? Wow, fastest.
I gave away so much.
Right?
That's all you had to say. It's Robinson the Journey.
Fastest 20 questions ever.
Let's go.
Insane.
Now you have time for your shit.
Bring it here.
Oh my God.
KillSL 7774 ever with a $5 tip says you guys kick ass. Thank you. You also kick ass, KillSL.
The second I started qualifying that statement, I knew I was fucked.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you dug your own grave on that one. Dave, what's your should we or shouldn't we?
Okay, so here's my should we or shouldn't we. I think I might have mentioned that I was thinking about getting this little portable like it's basically like a little Polaroid printer that you hook up to either a smartphone or like you can put stuff from Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap game, on here and print stuff out. So it was like out of stock everywhere. I had to wait. It was backordered, but it finally showed up, and I've been fooling around with it, and it's really cool. Like I printed out some Pokemon stuff so far. I've got like some Carlos pics. Like there's I put some filters. Hey, Carlos, bam, bam. Got some like just like shit I like. Little Princess Mononoke picture. But this thing is great. Like you can just like put anything from your smartphone and just print out these little things. They're pretty cheap for the exposures, and like I'm just putting them all over my fridge and like any empty spaces in my house. Got my little Geordie LaForge and everything. But like, if you can get your hands on one, and that seems like something you'd be into, it's super fun. Like I'm nerding out about it and like thinking about all these little Polaroids I can make. And like once we get back to parties and stuff, and I can see people, it'll be a fun thing to have along. And just like, hey, you want to Polaroid of this thing? I'll just print you out one right now. Like, so
it is funny
how it's a good buy. I'm liking it.
Old technology sometimes like we look back and go, man, I wish we could still kind of had that. Because with camera phones and stuff, I mean, actually, everybody's got a camera on their phone, and we've all got thousands of pictures on our phones. And then it's like, well, what do we do with this shit, right? You just gotta hold on to it. You keep transferring it from phone to phone to phone. But then it's like, yeah, you don't have it on your fridge. Most people don't print it out or put it in digital picture frames and that kind of stuff to enjoy the pictures they have. I want to plaster my wall with pornography.
Exactly. Yeah, just everything on your phone. Just anything that's on your phone.
So
Brian.
pornography.
Print out little pictures of it.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one that I printed that was like not pornographic at all. It's a still from a comic book that I like, but I didn't want to show it on here because I was like, oh, maybe it's too sexy or something. But it's not porn. I'll say that much.
All right, you guys.
Anyway.
Guys, this is a fun episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. I want to thank all the people who out there who hung out with us during the show. You guys were all awesome in the chat. Thank you for helping us out during 20 questions. We really, really needed you. We never would have gotten there without you.
God
fucking
damn it.
best.
God
Right?
damn it.
Obviously, thank you to everybody who tipped and supports the channel. Thank you everybody who on that Patreon scroll down below. Guys, if you don't support the channel on Patreon, feel free to head over to patreon.com/withoutparolegames and hook us up with $1 or more every month. And then that you will get on that list that you see scrolling by constantly 3 times a week. Awesome. Love you. Also thank you to all the moderators who helped keep this channel running smoothly. And wait, I know it. Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. There's so many people to thank, man. This takes forever. Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who always gives me the timestamps for the show, like 12 hours after the fact. So if you are sitting there going, I can't sit through a fucking hour waiting for the topic that I want to hear about, just wait 12 hours. And you'll be able to scan right over to it. I don't know if I missed anybody, but make sure if you don't already subscribe to Dave over at Daystation VR, who might be streaming, I hope, No Man's Sky tonight.
I think I will.
Subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground, who already streamed No Man's Sky earlier today, and a ton of other stuff this week.
Good week for me, man. Good week for me.
If you like these guys, I pointed to Tornado. Where is Tornado? If you like these guys, make sure you show your support by heading over there, subscribe to their channel, watch their shit. They do great work. Especially I don't have time to do the stuff that you guys do. You guys are like, it's like 3-hour No Man's Sky live stream, and there's no way in hell I'd have a chance to do any of that and actually show the stuff that you were able to do today, AJ. So thank you very much, and go check that shit out. It's awesome. I think we got to cue the cat.
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say goodbye. Good night. Have a great night. See you Friday. Hopefully there's lots going on. 2 guys, fist bump to you. Justin Cassidy, Deathly the Death Cat, Braxton P, Tiago Waza. Thank you. Make sure you have your notifications on. Tiago. Tax refund the end on the 7th day. He rested. Game Cat says games. Ben Dawson, the Game Cat's out of the glue bagger. I've always loved that name. Miles Dyer in the house tonight. What's up, dude? Nick the Game Cat. Ow! Hack the Game Cat. I knew it was lit up in here. Your Long Shadows. Shades of Gray Matter. Gabriel 004, the license to Meow Game Cat. Meow, 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 meow. Ash VR Groovy. Tyleon, thank you so much for joining tonight. Blue Drew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house tonight. Duzin Savick. I have a PS4 Slim, and I got PSVR a month ago. Already have like 40 games for it. Really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Is it good if I trade my Slim at $50 to $80 and get a PS4 Pro? If you're not getting a PS5 anytime soon, absolutely get a PS4 Pro. Yeah. Totally worth it. Yes. The answer is yes. Johnny No Pockets, aka Who Dat Game Cat. Stingray X Pacer X, Ricardo Eustace, thank you so much again. I'm just mad that I don't get to play it sooner. Willard in the house tonight. Thank you so much, Willard. My newest Patreon, Willard. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate your support, brother. Nihilist Ryan the Game Feline. Who else we got here? Are you gonna really meow after every single one? Snacks Impulse. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Station Game Cat, the elitist of the Elite Name Squad, Glacier, Dream, Maximum Play. We got a lot of you guys in here tonight. Holy shit, there's a lot of you.
Brian's trying to meow you off. It's like just picture a big cane coming from the side of the screen, just pulling you off.
All right, fine. Well, finally, let me just say goodbye to Professor Lilith and Steve IRE and Johnny Right Pop the Stray Cat and Killacell 777. I love you guys. I love you all. I would name all of you if I could. Brian's kicking me off.
You gotta get the Academy Awards music that they play when somebody's talking.
Bernie the Game Cat. Love you, Zach Lightning, JT Money. All you guys.
Yeah.
Good night, guys. Take it easy.
I think I named all 200.
Meow.